identification that every person has to sell that allows them to either buy or sell, or if they don't have the mark, the identification, they won't be allowed to buy or sell. And by the way, the mark, according to the Bible, will be on your right hand or forehead. It can be one or the other. So you look at it now, you go, well, this is really remarkable, because all of these globalists are saying, well, everybody's going to need an ID. You're going to have a personal identification. If you do not have that, you will not be able to operate within society. You're not going to be able to go to the grocery store. You're not going to be able to pay your rent on your house. You're not going to be able to buy hamburgers, which is another story, because we're saying you can't eat meat. But that's another story. You have to be part of this system. The system is, they're telling us, digital currency. Specifically, CBDC, centralized bank digital currency, which is different than the other digital currencies that we've been hearing about for the last several years. What they're talking about is a digital currency that's controlled by the government, and then ultimately it's going to have one authority at the top of it. These things are not a coincidence. They are all happening, and the Bible did tell us it's going to come this way. And they're telling us it's for our own good. Listen, we're going to have an economic crash, and this will keep everybody from suffering and dying, from going hungry, that type of thing, right? So we see it happening, but the mark of the beast is simply an identification system that allows you to buy or sell, to operate within society if you go along with it. And the beast himself is Antichrist. It's a submission to Antichrist and his system.
I think one thing that's important for folks to understand, Tom, is that folks are going to be eager to take this mark. It won't have to be forced on them.
Absolutely. We know from the book of Revelation it's an act of worship. But I was talking with one of our colleagues just recently about this, because there's so much resistance currently to certain things that the globalists are doing. But what's going to cause people to go along with it? Well, two things. One is the rapture is going to take place. And the other thing is, we know from Revelation chapter 6, you have the rider on the black horse, that there can be an economic collapse. And guess what, Jan? You said it many times. Mr. Fix-It is going to show up on the scene with the answer to the problem. Hey, I'm here. I can fix these problems that you have. There will be an economic catastrophe that is going to happen. Listen, once the grocery stores are empty for 3 days, people are going to say, I'll do whatever it takes to be able to have groceries. So crash the current system. We're all hearing that that's what they're going to do. And then what do you bring in? You bring in digital currency, and people will be saying, thank you for solving our problem. Now we can go on with our life. It was Klaus Schwab who said, by 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. And it's like everything that these globalists are doing looks to me like it is an intentional plan to bring about this goal of submission to the global government.
You're listening to Understanding the Times Radio. I'm Jan Markell. I have on the line from Southern California, Tom Hughes, because we are carrying his newest book, Marking the Masses. Covers a broad span of topics. Can't get into every single issue in this particular segment, but it is in my online store, olivetreeviews.org, olivetreeviews.org. Go to my online store. And Tom, here's my question based on what we've just heard and what you just said. What do you think will prompt the nations of the world to give up their sovereignty and be a part of this whole crazy system? And again, you just said, and I totally agree, things will indeed be kind of in a mess. But you've got Xi Jinping, Emmanuel Macron, Vladimir Putin, the mullahs of Iran, for that matter, the U.S. Democrat Party, who they don't want to cede power to this guy. Are you kidding me? These that I just named are all about power and control. Will there be perhaps an international crisis that causes the leaders to cede power and bow down to this guy? Whatever that crisis is, it's unimaginable right now.
There will be an international crisis. I'm convinced it will affect China and Russia, who are already not doing as well as the media would have us believe they are doing. Europe's in trouble. The U.S. is obviously in trouble. The whole world's got issues, and there are financial issues going on globally. With that, there's still another dynamic. I don't believe every world leader is going to willingly submit to this kingdom that's coming. We know we have the 10 kings, Revelation chapter 17. They give their power and authority to the beast. However, we also know from reading Daniel chapter 11, for example, there's certain areas of Jordan that are not going to submit. We know Egypt is not going to entirely submit to Antichrist. We know the Ezekiel chapter 38 battle seems to be where Russia, Iran, Turkey are operating according to their own methods. But granted, I believe the timing of that is going to be fairly early on. So we don't see a massive, like everybody on the globe is submitting to Antichrist. He's a beast. Revelation 13, who can make war with him? He does whatever he pleases almost within whatever God allows him to do. And we do know that there is a resistance that's going to build during the kingdom of Antichrist. It's a very short-lived kingdom, maximum of 7 years. But the Bible is very clear. 144,000 Jews are saved early on. And then, as we continue reading chapter 7 of Revelation, what do we have? There are a massive number of people that are saved during the tribulation, so many that no man can number them, that are saved in every tribe, nation, tongue, and people. That's the Gentile world. So not everybody is going along with him, but there's such power and such deception and delusion that there are going to be, I believe, the majority of the world population is going to joyfully submit to him and look to him to be their Savior. But there will be some who will resist. Also, nationalism is a problem for globalism, and the globalists know this. And